What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Properties and Pour-Overs podcast. My name is Adam Colburn, and today I have a very special guest, my good friend Kristyn Cozad. What's going on, Kristyn?
Hi, Adam. It's so good to be with you today.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for taking some time to share your story. And
Absolutely.
so, just to introduce yourself to our listeners, can you tell me where you're located in the country and what does your business look like currently?
Yeah, I'm in Denver, Colorado, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. Always iterating, always changing things up. And right now it looks like a lot of many different things. AI training, coaching, which I've had that for quite some time. And then I've been doing, the real estate investing and things like that, and now getting into business buying.
Amazing. That's awesome. And so, with that serial entrepreneurship mind, take me back to like where did it all start? Have you always been an entrepreneur, or like what was your background before you started buying businesses and doing coaching and all that good stuff?
Well, you understand the serial entrepreneur. So,
I do.
you know what? I can't say that was something just innate in me, where I remember your story and you were young and you witnessed your parents, I remember, and
Hmm.
it was nothing like that. My parents were school teachers. No one in my family on on any side that I can think of is an
Hmm.
entrepreneur, even the generation after me. So I think there might be a couple. I'm trying to groom them, but it really hasn't been a thing in my family. It was just kind of go to college, get a job, stay in the job as long as you can. You don't quit a job until you move on to the next job, kind of a thing.
Right.
And so I was a flight attendant for a very long time. And it was probably when I was around 30. It just wasn't never a fit for me. I like to really go deep with people. I like
Hmm.
to get in their story, and I like to that's where I like to be, is in the meat of a person,
Yeah.
what really makes them tick. And I think I was about 30 years old, and the entrepreneurial thing started for me where, I worked for a company that was very revered publicly, but I knew the reality of it was just a business and I was
Hmm.
just kind of a number.
Yeah.
And so I saw a little bit of hypocrisy between the marketing that they had and the actual experience of working there.
Sure.
And so it wasn't a very joyful thing. And I thought, life is too short. I need to be enjoying this. I'm a big learner and a grower. And so I actually got into nutrition. So
Hmm.
I did a nutrition certification and I thought, well, I can do that on the side of this job. It'll be great. And so I did some speaking for that. I did corporate wellness, and I loved the whole process of that, putting together the talk. And unfortunately, I worked for a startup and they paired me with it was a refined foods company, and I was a Whole Foods
Right.
nutritionist.
Yeah.
So it was
It's
a really
tough.
fine line to not insult them when I came in, and
Right.
to kind of walk the walk, but at the same time respect that this was how they make their living.
Sure.
And so, but I really did love that. And I got fired for that very reason, was because I was staying true to what I believed and what I learned. And it wasn't in line with the job that they were doing.
Yeah.
And so I think that was another rift with corporate that I kind of saw, where I thought they can't even hear me because of how they make their livelihood and what they do for a living, that they can't even hear a basic truth about real food being very beneficial and healing for our bodies.
Right.
So just that loyalty, and it just never kind of rung true with me. And so then I started coaching. That was probably 9 years ago that I started my coaching business, Illuminating Purpose. And that's my real love, is really, I mean, I really get into the weeds with people on that one. So
Yeah.
it's a 2-day intensive. And so we talk about, we clarify everything and we put words to everything, because I think that helps people make sense of it in their heads, something that maybe they have known all their lives, but they never put words to. It's not tactical, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So that's the work that I do, is helping them put words to their values, their vision, and their purpose, and then to start to help them get out of their way, mindset wise and life wise, in order to kind of bring that vision into, to fruition.
Yeah.
So I see now that I am very entrepreneurial. It's how my brain works. It's how my value system works. And, coming in contact with you and these people in our community, I mean, this is my tribe.
Yeah.
So,
Love
I
it.
just love it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome. And so, I mean, I feel like you're unique in how long you've been doing that because I hear a lot of people starting coaching, but I feel like it's such a valued resource that people aren't utilizing
Yeah.
in every aspect of their life, right? Like, yeah, you can have a health coach, you can have a mindset coach, you can have a business coach, like we have within the masterminds that we're in. But like that investment is only going to 10x your results or give you the clarity that you need for, like you mentioned, like that one thing that's kind of just been like digging at them their whole lives. You're able
Yeah.
to unlock that piece of them that they can't see otherwise, and that's huge value, whether it be on the marketplace or not. So that's super cool that you've been doing that and for so
Mhm.
long. And so I guess like with that piece, you're building your coaching platform, you're doing that, you're speaking on stages. Where did the other side of like business buying and real estate specifically, like how did that come into play for you?
So that was an escape from my airline job,
Okay.
honestly. My mom had passed away, and I think right around that time I turned 50, my mom passed away, and I was thinking, you've got to get really serious about what you're doing with your life, Kristen, and how you're doing it. And I kind of did, I think with the other job, until I really surrendered and accepted and chose my attitude, chose my energy at that job, I felt like that's when I was kind of released from it.
Hmm.
And that's when all this stuff started to bubble up. I started learning about real estate investing. I started doing other things like renting my house on Airbnb during the summer and going up to Montana and realizing I wasn't as tied to that job as I had previously thought.
Yeah.
So that was eye-opening for me. And then it was when I was up in Montana that I found the real estate investing and kind of did the education. And I thought, I think I can do this. And I heard a quote recently. What was it? I don't do it because it's easy. I do it because I thought it would be easy. So,
Yeah,
so that's how I got into that.
sure.
And I was like, oh, I'm already Airbnb-ing. And so I kind of looked at all of it, and it kind of unlocked something in me, a freedom of, oh my gosh, there are a million ways to make money. There's a million ways to live. I don't have to do this one thing and
Right.
follow in sort of the way that I had been taught. You just stay with your job and you're taken care of and you're secure, you
Yeah.
know. So it's been a huge learning curve. The real estate investing has. I've done flipping. I started a wholesale business that was very short-lived. That's how I came across you, and you were so helpful, but still, I feel like you should have told me, don't do it. No, you didn't know
Sometimes
me,
that is
but
the right answer. Yeah, for sure.
exactly, exactly. But you know what? I had to step into that. Everything that I've done, everything that I've stepped into has been a huge learning experience. And I think that once you know something doesn't really work for you, it's that's exactly what it is your learning experience, and then you move on. And
Yeah.
so this summer, beginning of the year, I had a couple development projects that I was involved in, and both of them I had to walk away from. So I spent a
Mm,
lot of time, I put a lot of time into these.
yeah.
And the first one I had to walk away from because of the team, not my team, but the team that was attached to it.
Right.
And the second one was an issue with the land. And so, the times that I've gotten the most out of my professional life is when I've actually said, okay, let's step back and really take an inventory and look at who I am, look at what I want out of life, what my business looks like now, what I've learned through these experiences. And as much as I would love to get back into the development side, I knew that right now I needed a steady income.
Yeah.
So I looked at all the different options and I thought buying a business makes the most sense. And it started, I don't know if you've had this experience, Adam, but when you do kind of step back and you reevaluate, which it sounds like you've done in a massive way since I talked to you last, with your vision becoming so clear, that's really when I see the right people coming in. I see the opportunities, I see the ideas, I see the vision expanding.
Yeah.
And, do you felt that way?
For
Because,
sure. Well, and I
yeah,
mean, I think it resonates a lot like what you said is like you tried all these things, but then you found an end, right? And
Mhm.
so the only way to find that end is to try. So
Right.
it's not a waste of time or a loss. You're collecting skills along the way, right? Like you're like the wholesale business. Yeah, it just didn't fit your personality or it's not the type of business that you want to run. Because I mean, it's hard. Let's just be
Hmm.
honest. It's a difficult business. Um, and so, but recognizing that, hey, this doesn't fit my unique skill set. I'm not going to just try to hammer my way to make this work. Let me go find something that is a better complement to my skill set and overall like lifestyle, right?
Right.
And so I think it's smart to know when to pivot, but still having the openness to go and try something new is huge. And so I think that brings a lot of clarity when you find that one thing. You have to try a lot to figure out which one really fits, and then yeah, like once you have that laser focus, that really clear vision, yeah, all the other things start to fade away, and now you can focus on the people you need to work with or the opportunities that are in front of you that you were missing when you were just kind of fumbling around with a blurry vision.
100%. And I think too, that blurry vision idea, that's so good. I like that term. But it's really easy to see what's working for someone else.
Sure.
To say, oh, that's what I should do. Okay, well, people are succeeding over here with whatever. We were just talking about that before we started recording, but
Right.
it's really easy to kind of follow that thing, to kind of
Hmm.
go, oh, this is what everybody's doing. Okay, now this is what everybody's doing. And we've watched that happen in different cycles over the last couple years. And I think it's really important, like we're saying, to evaluate what brings me joy. What work do I want to show up for every day?
Yeah.
And when I was doing the wholesaling, because the wholesaling to me is very, unless you have a huge team, you're very in the weeds about it. You're very much in the details. It's the puzzle. And that's just not I'm an idea person and a visionary, full
Right.
stop. And
Yeah.
so that was really hard because I didn't have a big enough team to really pull that off, was the
Sure.
problem with that.
Yeah.
But I think that, it's really easy to look at those places. But man, on Sunday nights, every week I thought, oh my gosh, I have to go pretend like I'm a wholesaler because now I have this employee. She's
Yeah.
got she's got to buy in. And so I'm going to
Right.
have to pretend like this is working for me.
Yeah.
And I knew that that was just another version of the W-2 job that I had.
Totally.
Just a sense of dread about it and not feeling it, so
Yeah.
but that's when, I started really looking at my business and saying, okay, what does my business really need? And, we have people in our community who do AI things. And so I thought, okay, well, I can pay somebody $5,000 to come into my business and really organize everything. But I thought, okay, that's great. But then in a year, that will probably be obsolete.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
why don't I learn how to do that? And
Sure.
so, there's a stumbling I think that happens too, because when I did that, I signed up for, I think, a free summit,
Hmm.
came across these teachers, amazing teachers. I met up at one of their events at the beginning of last week, and let me tell you, it's like another owners club.
Yeah.
It's like phenomenal people. I just am pinching myself that I got involved in this.
Love it.
But it came from that listening,
Sure.
and you're the same. You do the same thing. You very much listen to what's going on around you, and that kind of helps you lead the vision as well.
Yeah. For
So,
sure. Well, and I think that was really astute of you to understand that, yeah, I could pay somebody to come and do this and optimize my business for right now, but in such a forward facing kind of industry within AI, like, yeah, it could be obsolete in the next 3 months, right? Like
mhm.
there's tools being generated as we're talking that are knocking Chat GPT and other things to the wayside, right? And so
Right.
if we can learn how these things are being developed, that is something that can be more long term for your own business, but then also to be able to turn around and coach others on how to use that. I think that's super smart. And that will bleed into any type of industry or anything that you do moving forward, right? Like optimizing your own coaching platform, you can go and teach other coaches. You can go
Mhm.
build out your real estate portfolio utilizing AI, and then you can teach other people how to do that. And so I think that was really smart to recognize that this is going to be a big need moving forward, and I don't really see an end in sight for that. let me learn how to do that. And then
Right.
it sounds like you found the perfect group to do that with, which is awesome to find fellow collaborators, because that's a big part in all of these industries, right? People want to keep things close to the chest and they don't want to share. And so we've been blessed to have mentors that are go-givers and will give you every single piece of information available to you because we'll go so much further faster if we work together rather than trying to compete against one another. So that's
Completely.
awesome.
Yeah. Well, and that is, the AI train is such a fast-moving train, but if you own a business, I think there's no way around being very comfortable with how it works.
Yeah.
And then when I stepped into that world, it was kind of, I joined a program that's AI consulting.
Hmm.
So it's kind of the AI is becoming the hub in my business with all the different spokes off the side of it, with the coaching, with speaking, with like you said, real estate investing and things like that, and helping people. I'm a big proponent of freedom and of people. We don't have to give up our health or our relationships in order to have a successful business.
Yeah.
How can we leverage AI to really help us in the lift, right? And
Hmm.
so that some of the striving is taken away and there's a little bit more ease and spaciousness to the things that we're doing, even as we're building. I think that that's possible. And so, yeah, the collaboration part is huge. The funny thing when I started looking into the business buying, and this is that whole idea of surrender, I think that whenever I see it happen, I'm just amazed by it because I didn't do it,
Right.
but just because I chose to stand back and look at things that, I'm seeing the pieces fall into place right now. And I'm seeing how, the AI is the central hub, and he's talking to us about when you're consulting with companies, get revenue share, get equity, and things like that. And it's so funny to me because I was looking to buy a business. So why not have a lighter lift? Why not have a lighter lift there and have pieces of other businesses
Yeah, totally.
then? But it is just really funny how that all kind of falls into place and comes together when we are paying attention. So
Yeah.
um,
That's amazing.
being able to adjust. So yeah,
Love
so
it.
excited
That's
about it.
cool. And so, I mean, lots of change in the last year or so, right? Which is
Yeah.
and it's very exciting. And we were talking about big visions and obviously our Mount Everest, right? The group that we met each other in, Owners Club, big push on Mount Everest. What's this goal that we're going to chase over the next 3 to 5 years that we need other people to come alongside us to be able to accomplish? What is your Mount Everest? Or how has that changed over the last year? I guess I should ask.
That's a great question. So it's really funny because I've had this vision for a coaching center. I live in Denver, like I said earlier,
Mhm.
and right in the foothills, it's kind of a great location. Denver Airport is super central, very easy for people to get to. This location would be maybe 45 minutes from the airport in the foothills. And I've carried this vision for a long time before I knew anybody in real estate investing or anybody. This was when I only had my coaching business.
Yeah.
And so I knew that that was my Mount Everest. But it is funny watching things unfold this year and watching the people come in line. A company that does building materials that I really believe in, building a relationship with the founder of that company and thinking, oh, that would be the perfect thing to use. And then my latest client was an interior designer who works with all natural, products and things like that, non-toxic and things like that.
Hmm.
Watching, basically the center will look like having therapy, spiritual direction, coaching, speakers, classes, a sense of community there so that people can kind of get feedback on their ideas and have some accountability with what they're doing. And then that will also have, in order to monetize it, will be for special events and things like that. So the vision is very beautiful. I can smell it, I can feel it.
Yeah.
But that was it at the beginning. And now that I have this AI community and I got pulled up on stage at the live event for that event. by the coach there, and he's been coaching for decades.
Hmm.
And him and his wife started this AI business as well. He's just very techy, and he's been in the entertainment industry. And so I tell my vision there, and he says, we'll talk offline about it. And so it's really funny that it's changing and growing without my having to force it to be so,
Sure. Yeah.
and watching the people that are coming around. So my Everest is more about the impact and the people. For me, my people are my doors.
Yeah.
It's not about how many properties I have, it's about the impact on people's lives. And
Totally.
so bringing that declaration of purpose to 20,000 people is my Mount Everest.
Amazing.
And that will look very different. It will be through speaking, one-on-one, corporate events and group retreats and workshops and things like that, and helping people really get to the core of what it is that makes them tick, and that thing that really, it's such an innate part of us that we don't even realize that's our purpose. I teach people that purpose isn't about the job that we do, but it's about how we show up to that job, how
Yeah.
we show up in life with our families, with our loved ones, and in all of the work we do. It's innate in us. And
Sure.
so sometimes it's harder for people to distinguish the hugeness of that purpose, right? So
Sure.
it can be something very simple, but
Yeah.
when we start to build the vision of that, when that's the bedrock and we build the foundation off of that, or the vision off of that,
Hmm.
um, it really, you can see people see the beauty in themselves when they
Yeah.
distinguish it.
Wow. I love that. That's awesome. 20,000 people. That's massive impact. And
It is. I'd
yeah.
like to do more, but that's my little nervousness.
Hey, that's the first mountain, right? There's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
there's always bigger ones. And so that's
Yeah.
super cool. I love that. Very
Well,
inspiring.
and coming from a place of having done one-on-one work, which I absolutely love, but I know it's not the best use
Yeah.
of the template that I've created for
Sure.
working with people, right? So,
Totally. I
yeah.
love that. That's awesome. And so shifting gears a little bit, I mean, you've been in a lot of different industries. You've seen a lot of stuff on your entrepreneurship journey. Can you share with me one, I guess, hurdle that you've had to overcome in the last few years, and kind of the mindset that you had to reach to overcome that issue?
Yeah. Which one? I think that, the summer before my mom passed away, we spent together in Montana at the family house there, and it was just amazing. And I had things going on with my coaching business, and one day she looked at me. My mom was the type of person where she wasn't the type of mom to give a ton of advice. But she said to me one day, she goes, Kristyn, you're very confident, but you have so much doubt. And
Mm,
it really struck me because that wasn't the type of thing that she ever said. And I knew the truth of it as soon as she said it. I knew she was right.
yeah.
And so I think that, that idea to be an entrepreneur, to be a confident person, you're a confident person, but then you have this doubt or this fear. I think working through that, and, I always had my W-2 to fall back on.
Right. The safety net.
And now I haven't had, I mean, I am, we won't get into that, but I am employed by them, but I'm not working there. So it's
Sure.
almost like a consulting. So it's a safety net, but I
Right.
haven't worked there for 2 years. And
Hmm.
so you really have to then build that foundation within yourself of that confidence of, I'm going to be okay. I think that my faith has grown, and just understanding that I'm not doing this alone, that I don't have to force it to happen,
Yeah.
that it's actually happening as it should. And, you know, being a person of in personal growth, and loving that since I was about 20 years old, probably earlier, but that was probably the entrepreneurial thing, was just personal growth and loving that, and
Yeah.
wanting to know how to create a sense of freedom and how to exist in the world in a way that felt really good. That always was so, so important to me. And I think that, you know, when we really get out there and we take the training wheels off and we start to work through that fear and to know everything is as it should be. I was always trying to fix things. So
Hmm.
that always means that there's something wrong.
Right.
So my mindset had to shift, and I'm still in the process of this, Adam. My mindset is shifting away from let me fix this, let me focus on what's wrong and fix this, to what if everything's right? What if this is exactly the lesson I need to be learning right now? What if this fear is here for a purpose, or this insecurity? Or I think that those are kind of the biggest things for me, is really learning in the whole of my life. And because, entrepreneurship is no different than life, right?
For sure.
We bring who we are into all of it. And I just, I think that kind of working through that fear and learning that everything is exactly as it should be has
Yeah.
given me a lot of grace
Hmm.
and so much more calm because I had some stressful time the last couple years
Yeah.
of trying to force something to work, or thinking that I was doing it wrong, it should be working, kind of a thing. And
Right.
so I
Yeah.
think
Or not
really,
working the exact same way that you had planned it. So let me just tweak it a little bit and then you break the whole thing. So,
and Adam,
yeah.
we got plans. Let's be
Right.
honest. You're so similar in that way.
Yeah.
Like, we have
Big
plans. We know
vision.
exactly how it should go.
Right.
So, but really giving up control of that, and trusting the process, I
Yeah.
think has
That's
been,
huge. That's
yeah.
huge. Wow, that's so good.
Okay.
What do you think, like, and again, like you have such a wealth of experience because you've been in so many different spaces. I can take this a million different ways, but like, is there any like a podcast or a book or maybe a specific like speaker that you have really latched onto over the past few years? Have you been moving and grooving through the entrepreneurship space to kind of help align? Because I don't know, you might not be this way at all, but like I consume that type of content a ton. And so especially if it's something that I'm really interested in, I want to call myself a know-it-all. I would be a learn-it-all, right? And so I want to just consume all the things to, because there might be one new strategy or one thing I can glean from that. And it's not that I need it to like reach that next level, but it's I just want to like acquire as many tools in the tool belt. Is
Right.
there anything like that? Does that resonate with you at all? Like, is there a
Oh,
podcast or a book or something like that that's really kind of pushed you forward?
I'm a learn it all as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I always, my YouTube feed is insane.
Yeah.
So um
Love it.
yeah, I really love Lewis Howes,
Okay.
and I have followed him for forever. I love how he is with the guests. I love his curiosity, and I love the types of guests he gets.
Yeah.
Joe Dispenza is another one that I've followed for some time. So none of these are kind of brand new, or, I love Dan Martell for Buy Back Your Time.
Yeah.
I love that message. I think that's so important so that we don't get overwhelmed and things like that, and
For
learning
sure.
how to work our way out of our businesses, which is really the goal, to
Yeah.
have that passive income.
Right.
Um, I'm trying to think. I'm probably going to think of it after
No
we get off.
worries.
I'm trying to think of my
Yeah.
feed right now, but it's a
Yeah.
lot of health stuff in my feed right now.
Sure.
So, I love Mel Robbins. The entrepreneur, though, I will have to say, and I don't think she's written a book, is
Hmm.
Sarah Blakely. I don't know if you've heard her
I've heard the
story.
name.
She started Spanx.
Okay. Yeah.
And she started, I mean, she was so young when she started it, and then she exited at
Hmm.
$1 billion.
Yeah.
And her story is so amazing, and her spirit and her energy are just so great. But I think for me, the thing that affects my business the most is the energy that I bring, the
Yeah.
mindset. And so those are the places where I really focus. I did recently start a really good book about, oh crap, what is the name of that? You can cut this out, but um alter ego.
Okay.
Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it. Yeah. I've never read it.
Yeah. So it's basically that idea that there is, and when I was working with doubt, that was a really big idea for me, was, you know, what if you did have this alter ego? What if it's actually the best part of you, but
Right.
you're just afraid to show up in it? What if it's
Yeah.
not? what if your alter ego is actually this really authentic, true, beautiful part of you? And what
Hmm.
if that's actually the truest you?
Yeah.
So that is all
Love
really
it.
interesting. But
Very cool.
yeah, I'm a big consumer.
Love it. So, in your current stage of business, like what is something that you are looking for in your current business? Is there like a specific bottleneck or a person that you need to meet? Are you raising capital? Are you looking for, I mean, I know you mentioned buying a business. Like, is there an industry that you're looking for? Like, if somebody's watching this, like, how can they collaborate with you, or what are you specifically looking for to grow and scale your business?
Kind of interesting. I have some different ideas. I am looking
Sure.
always capital, right?
Yep.
For the freedom to do all these things that we want to do. The business that I'm looking at is actually semi-truck parking.
Okay.
So there's a huge shortage right now. There's something like 300,000 spots out there,
Yeah.
and it's harder and harder for truckers to find a place to stop. So
Sure.
there's about 3 million trucks on the road. So there's a huge gap in that market.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, looking at, my first thought, you'll understand this, was, yeah, I'd like to have one of those. I think that would really cash flow really well. They call it a cash cow. That sounds
Right.
great.
Yeah.
And then the reality when I start digging into it is, and the operator that I'm working with, I think she was a little thrown off on our first meeting when I said, why not just make it a national brand? Like, why?
Right.
So that's kind of, but honestly, with the other things that I have going on, the person that I'm looking to meet is who would be in on that venture
Hmm.
to bring it. It's a very simple business model
Sure.
to bring it to fruition with the research that I've done. I've found out a couple interesting things. So, things to manage for that could
Right.
be, but really trying to find someone that can take the vision that I have. And I'm a big idea person, big ideator. And so
Yeah.
who can kind of take that and run with it. And I
Hmm.
can run with them while I do these other things.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Implement the vision.
exactly. And then actually coming up, Tracy Coa and I are doing a 2-day workshop in Phoenix, January
Awesome.
6th and 7th. So looking for people who are interested in really taking an inventory of the coming year and not setting resolutions, but getting really gritty and really looking at, what stopped them in 2025
Yeah.
so that they can reach the goals that they have for 26. So I'm really excited about that too.
That's
So
amazing. Yeah, well,
yeah,
I'll put all the information in the show notes so people can go and
awesome.
sign up for that. That's amazing.
Awesome.
So last question for you, Kristen. Over the whole course of your career in being a flight attendant, being a coach, being into real estate, all this stuff, if there was one piece of advice that you could give your younger self right when you're getting started, what would that one piece of advice be?
Believe in yourself and ask for help.
Mm,
Tell your story. You never know who's going to say, "Oh, I know this person," or, you
yeah,
know, bring more people into what's on the inside of you,
yeah.
basically. Yeah.
So simple, but so profound because I mean, even me personally, like I was spinning my wheels for close to a year trying to figure out the thing when if I just asked somebody how to do it, I would have done it in like a month, right? Like you can just compress time if you
Yes.
lean on other people, right? And find a
Yes.
mentor, find that person that's doing the thing that you're, even if you're only slightly interested in it, but just
Right.
go and make the connection with them. You're going to go way further, way faster. So I love
Mhm.
that. It's very simple, but practical for anybody in business or in
Well,
just life in general.
right. And it can feel really scary, to start putting things out there. People are afraid to put things out there because they're afraid that they will fail
Right.
or that nobody will like their idea. And sometimes I think it's surprising when, that was one thing I did notice as a flight attendant. When I started talking about the coaching, that's when I found wanting to do it. That's when I found the program that I did.
Yeah.
That's when, it's really funny how those things kind of come into play, but
Yeah.
yeah, we could do this so much faster.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Well, if anyone's watching this, how can they reach out to you? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Instagram, Kristyn Cozad, that's my Instagram handle, or Facebook. LinkedIn is also the same. And I do have a YouTube channel called I was like, wait a second, what is the name of
What?
that thing? Illuminating Life Official.
Okay,
Yeah,
perfect. I'll chop
you
that.
need to cut that out if you put that in there.
I'll have a blooper reel at the end. Love it. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
What
Cool.
was that name?
That's so good.
lewishouse.com?
That's
No.
so good. Amazing. Well, Kristen, thank you so much for your time, sharing your story. Really appreciate it.
I'm so grateful to know you, Adam. Thanks for the time. You're such a gracious host, and I'm so excited for everything that you're doing and this huge vision that you have.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until the next one, I will catch you later. Peace.